Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here with Anna Bjorkenvall, CEO of luxury beauty product brand LXMI. How are you doing today, Anna?
I'm good. How are you doing, Andrew?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for taking some time with us. Tell me a
Thank you
little
for
bit
having
about
me.
yourself. How did you get started and what are you doing now?
Yeah, so my name is Anna Bjorkenvall. I'm originally Swedish, but now based in New York since a few years back. My background is in startup management on the operations side. And since a few years back, I'm the CEO of LXMI, which is a social impact clean beauty brand whose mission is plant-based, mindfully crafted skincare that advances biodiversity protection and fights global poverty.
Oh, that's a beautiful company motto right there. What is your company's niche and what problems does it solve for your customers?
Yeah, so like I said, it's a clean beauty brand based all on rare medicinal plants that we source through women's fair trade cooperatives in developing nations. So in the process of harvesting these plants, we give work to marginalized women, which is a powerful way to give them a new path forward and give them a way out of poverty. Work is really the fastest way to sustainably create positive change. The good thing is also, since it is based around plants, it also then gives a financial incentive to the local communities to preserve these rare botanical plants and the natural resources. So it's also then a way to help fight biodiversity destruction and fight climate change.
Excellent. Your company has good karma, as it were. And when and how did your company start? What's the origin story?
Yeah, so it was not started by myself. It was started by serial social impact entrepreneur Lila Jana back in 2015. And it was actually started kind of on the coattails of another social impact brand that she started in her early 20s, a tech AI brand called Samasource. And the premise for that brand was Lila would create these computer centers in rural parts of Africa and various developing nations, giving work to marginalized women and youth, teaching them basic data entry skills, and in that way connecting them with Fortune 500 companies such as Google, Microsoft, and Tesla. And say Tesla needed to annotate images for self-driving cars, you need a human component to that. So, that type of work would then get outsourced to these computer centers. So she was doing that for, many, many years and was traveling back and forth to Africa a lot. And at a local market, stumbled upon this local superfood called Nilotica, which is this really cool nut that grows wild in northern Uganda and South Sudan. And when she experienced that on her own skin, and she just thought, wow, this is incredible. And, there's a lot of ingredients like that are used locally for generations, but just don't get exported to the West because, for sourcing challenges and just the difficulty of kind of creating a model to get this exported to the West. But she thought, hey, I can apply the same type of give work model in this skincare world instead, and in that way LXMI was born. And Lila was running the brand for many years. I started back in 2018 on the finance and ops side and worked very closely with her. Unfortunately, she got diagnosed with a very aggressive form of cancer, and in the beginning of 2020 she very unexpectedly passed away from cancer, only at the tender age of 37. So she was definitely taken way too soon. Just in her short-lived life, she had already lifted over 50,000 people out of poverty through these social impact enterprises that she had pioneered. So it was it's a great honor for me to be able to continue Lila's legacy and in that way continue paving the path forward for sustainability and true involvement in the corporate space.
Well, I'm very sorry for your loss and for the loss of the planet. It sounds like a person who did a lot for many people and for society in general, and conceptually moved the planet forward. So I'm sorry about that. What makes your brand stand out from the competition, and how do you see that competitive advantage could be applicable or serve as an inspiration to brands in other industries?
Yeah, so for LXMI, obviously in the clean beauty space, there are a lot of different players around, and there's a lot of talk about sustainability and making a difference in the beauty space. But a lot of brands, they kind of approach it as a nice to have, or as a value added type of feature. But for LXMI, our whole core is built around this give work model. So it's not about giving back; it's about incorporating and giving work to people in all levels of our supply chain. So we do get asked a lot, like, oh, well, what's your give back percentage, or what's the how many trees do you plant? And for us, we say we don't think it's, planting trees is a nice initiative, but we cannot tear down all of the environmental resources that we have in this planet and then just kind of replant trees and hope for the best. We need to take care of the resources that we do have. And when it comes to sustainability, that's just heartbreaking to see the level of destruction that is happening worldwide. The same thing then also when it comes to societal change. We have this traditional kind of mindset around charity and nonprofit work, which is definitely an important part, but handouts and charity can only do so much. And most people, especially in developing nations, they do want to have meaningful work that pays living wages, and that is really the key to bring people out of poverty. And especially when you include women and give women a seat at the table, they get a voice in society, they have agency, they can pay for all of those things then that the charity and donations try to kind of do from a different angle. So it's just a really neat way to fight a lot of these global problems that many other people are trying to fight outstream. So obviously our approach is not the only solution, but I think what really is empowering is also for the modern consumer, who is really concerned about the state of the planet and where we're going with it. There are many different things that we can do, especially on an individual consumer level, but a lot of those things tend to be restrictive. It's like drive less, fly less, eat less red meat, kind of live less in most aspects. And even though that can have a positive effect, obviously it's harder to keep that up. But if it comes to something as getting ready in the morning, and something that you do already, if you can use a product like something from our line or from other social impact brands that are doing similar work, then you can really do something that is lasting for you and can have a real tangible impact. And it's a nice feeling too. We're all modern, stressed people, and if it's even you just running through your day and things don't go as you would like them to go, at least then you can say, well, just by getting ready in the morning, I was able to help women in need and also help the environment.
Your company is certainly rippling the pool in beautiful ways, and the more companies and humans that could follow a path like that, the better off we'd all be.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things as well. Then, like, for other brands as well to look at how can, depending on the industry that one might be in, is looking at, okay, well, how can we really approach this in a little bit more meaningful and long-lasting way? How can we have, a company mission that is really rooted at the core of what we stand for as a brand, not just as an afterthought. So I think that's one of those things that I really try to inspire other brands and brand founders with as well, just to look at it a little bit more holistically and see really how you can tie that into the different vendors that you work with, the different partners that you choose to team up with, all of those different aspects of what makes your business viable.
Excellent. Tell me, how have you grown the business, and what advice might you give to someone who's looking to start to grow their own brand, for example, in the beauty industry?
Yeah, so when it comes to LXMI, we've luckily, gotten a lot of attention, obviously, just from the social impact model and our approach to business, and I think that has definitely helped us a lot. But I think for us, it's more about how you build an authentic and sustainable business in the long term, rather than this type of hockey stick growth. There's definitely a lot of brands out there that kind of go the big VC path and make it big on Instagram and then try to do a big exit or something like that. And I think even though that can, there's a place for that, I do believe in growing organically, just kind of spreading your message, being that voice for whatever the mission is that you believe in, and just in that way continuing to build a community around you. We have amazing fans of the brand, and they're so willing just to they keep on spreading the word about what we do, and they want to get involved. And I think that's one of those things too, like when you get a community around you, you can just keep on growing sustainably and in a just more meaningful way that feels authentic.
Well, you've definitely put authenticity in front of perception, which is not necessarily the way people approach things these days, but it's honorable. And I thank you for that. I think I know the answer to this question, but what's your view on collaboration and relationship building in your industry? How do you choose what companies with whom you and organizations you do business?
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to sustainability and climate change, it's apparent that we do need collaboration in so many different aspects. And I think, in the beauty industry, it's immensely competitive. But I think, for us to really create a difference, we have to work together. And we love to partner with different partners from different aspects of the industry, but also then overlapping with nonprofit organizations, government agencies, looking at different organizations that we can team with, and in that way share strengths and weaknesses. Say one, for example, we partner with nonprofit in the environmental space called Conservation International, where we sourced one of the ingredients for one of our in our face oil, LXMI 33. With tuca oil, which is an ingredient that grows wild in the Amazon. And through this collaboration with this environmental nonprofit and a tribe in the Surinamese Amazon jungle, we're able to source this ingredient and enable the tribe to protect 235,000 football fields of Amazon rainforest in sacred tribal lands. And especially, in this day and age, the Amazon is so immensely attacked from all angles, and to be able to come together then from a nonprofit space, this indigenous tribe, us as the business driver in this, and then as well, backing from the Surinamese government and all these different other agencies coming together for a project like this. It's really just a beautiful example of how you can partner across business silos and really do greater things together. So I do definitely believe in looking at partners that might not be the obvious partner for you, but where you can share similar values and want to accomplish similar things, and in that way really be able to lean on each other and create something cool together.
That's beautiful. And what value has content marketing added to your company? How would you recommend a new or growing business approach to content marketing in general?
Yeah, content marketing is such an interesting field, and especially in the wake of the pandemic, when so much was going digital and a lot of brands were turned into the digital space. And I think for us, we've always viewed content creation and content marketing not necessarily from like a revenue generating standpoint. It's more about how do you get your message out there, and content creation can be a great way for you to make your voice heard, to take a stand and really just show your true colors and show what you want to accomplish as a brand. So I think I would definitely look at that from a new brand founder standpoint, of being really clear of what is the message that you want to set out in the world, what is the content that you want to create. There's so much kind of useless content that's just being churned out, and I really do see that the customer feels if there's heart and soul behind it. So creating things genuinely from your perspective, and just being true to what you want to accomplish with your brand and your voice. So I see it more as an avenue to communicate, and it can really be a really powerful tool. Excellent.
What is something that you personally or professionally would like to be celebrating a year from now?
I think it's an interesting question. I don't really believe necessarily in the big wins. I think it's more about looking back, a year from now and seeing all of the small steps forward. And, it's so easy, especially in this day and age, the big wins get celebrated, and we often miss those kind of smaller moments, the day-to-day actions, where it's especially, for someone who's a brand founder or is, looking to grow his or her brand, a lot of it is just that daily grind and showing up every day and doing your best and learning from all of the experiences. So I think it's more about, once you look at all of those little moments put together, that's when you really create something cool and you can really see that progress. But I think a lot of the times we just miss those little moments. So I'm hoping a year from now I'll have a string of little moments that would lead up to something great.
Once again, that is beautiful. I truly appreciate your authenticity and your core values. Please share with the people. Tell us, what is your URL and how can people find your company?
Yeah, so it's LXMI.com, LXMI. And we're on all social media platforms under LXMI Official. And definitely come and connect with us. We'd love to hear all of your thoughts and ideas and share part of our journey with you.
Anna Bjorkenvold, it's been lovely to spend some time with you today. I truly appreciate you and your energy and what your company stands for and how it is helping this planet spin in a positive direction. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Be well.